was familiar with doing videos in the luxury design build industry. And he recommended me to Brodie, and boy, was I thrilled, because I like Brodie better than anyone who I would have talked to. It worked out perfect. So Brodie was kind enough to, and as I said earlier, in social media, there's a lot of people who reach out to you. Try to make an effort in meeting with those that are not trying to immediately sell me, but are trying to connect with me and build relationships. Daniela and Francesca, who are on this, reached out to me on LinkedIn, and some of you here might have reached out to me on LinkedIn. But so we're going to have Brodie share with you some of, I really think what Brodie can do best is help learn what we should be expecting from video marketing going forward. He is the young generation, just like Jason, just like we've heard about throughout the entire day. That Susan Noyes put it very eloquently when she said, this generation is the generation. We've already been there. We raise these great kids. Although, Brodie, I don't know, you're not a baby or anything, but I would say that you are on the cutting edge. You're the leader in what video marketing is going to be for the next long time. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to mute myself and let you kick it off. And then I'm going to thank you again for the closing video that we're going to do later tonight, and hope that you stay on. For those of you who don't have anybody, a videographer, Brodie's easily approachable, is very professional. I've had nothing but wonderful things to say about him, and I've already referred him to a ton of us. So he is busy, but he's really good at measuring out his time, especially when it came to the conference and all the new business he's had. So thank you again, Brodie. You've been essential for this conference, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate your sponsorship. That is huge. And you're a member of Powerhouse Smart. So you now, even though the conference is over and you're going to do the clips video, you're part of the family now. You're with us. So without further ado, let me turn it over to Brodie. And I'm going to right now spotlight you. There you go. And I'm going to mute myself.
So my name is Brodie Kerst. I've been an architecture videographer for the past 4 years now. So what does that actually mean? So basically, I got my degree and training in architecture. Along the way, I found video, and I ended up marrying the two together and started my own business. I've been working with architects, landscape architects, interior designers for the past 4 years now to help them communicate their design process and their projects through video. So I think we're all pretty tired about hearing the narrative of how last year was an unprecedented time and how it sucked. But in reality, I really think it was a wake-up call that you all really needed. The design industry is one of the slowest to adopt change. While 3D modeling is making waves, we're still stuck in 2D. While Revit is cutting down on turnaround for construction documents, we are still stuck in AutoCAD. So it's no surprise that while real estate agents have been using video heavily to showcase homes for the past 5+ years now, we are still stuck to explore beyond photography. So in my presentation today, I'm not only going to showcase and talk about the importance of using video, but also where and how to actually get started with it. Let's get into it. Storytelling is a powerful thing. When you look at companies like Disney and Pixar, they made us care about toys. They made us care about cars. They made us care about ants. If you take a step back and think about how crazy it is that they were able to get us emotionally invested into things that we don't normally care about on a daily basis, it's insane. They told a story about a toy cowboy that 3 movies later we were bawling our eyes out at. But the power of storytelling doesn't just lend itself to movies. We use it in our everyday life, whether we're talking about our day, recollecting about the past, or even dreaming about the future. It's a primal instinct that's been with us since the dawn of time. When a good story is told, we listen. My first big project when I started my business was collaborating with Site Design Group on the Pinktown Memorial Park film. Now, originally they were looking for a handful of drone clips to put together for the 20th anniversary celebration for the park. But after talking with them, one thing became super clear was that this was a golden goose egg of a project. Everything from the history to the design to the ultimate impact that this park has had was incredible, and I knew it needed to be showcased in the right way. 40 years ago in Chicago's Chinatown, the city decided to demolish Chinatown's only park and recreation center in order to build the expressway. Now, the expressway is still there today, but there was an entire generation who grew up without access to open space or a recreation center. An entire generation of people who don't know how to swim because of that lack of access. So when this site became available, the community banded together and fought for it to be a park. Site Design Group ultimately designed it and implemented it, and the project's impact on the community has been far beyond its immediate area. So I video interviewed people within the community, community leaders, the principal of Site Design Group, all gathering their perspective on the history, the implementation, and the impact of this project. And this is what we ended up with.
Good design and the quality of design should be for everybody. Not only the quality of design in the industry, but the social aspect of it. How does this start to impact other people's lives? So when we do a park on the west side of Chicago that used to be drug infested and there's needles all over the place, and that kid, and we put in a new playground, and 20 years from now, that kid says to his friend, hey, remember that park that we were at and we did this and we dreamed about this? You impacted that kid's life. And that's powerful to me. That's something that I am very passionate about.
This park is making a difference in people's lives.
This video wanted to do crazy numbers across social media. It won the Illinois ASLA award, and it is still being circulated by Site Design Group today within their proposals. So why am I telling you this? What's the relevance? I think we all can think of one project that comes to mind that everything just went right. Everything lined up perfectly to create something special. Now, telling that story in a way that isn't you flipping through a PowerPoint presentation talking about it, or isn't you writing out a 2-page essay for someone to read through, but in a way that is dynamic and engaging, creates emotional investment into your firm. The beauty of what you guys do as architects, landscape architects, and interior designers is that your work has the power to resonate with all 5 senses. Whether you're sitting atop the tallest hill in Chicago surrounded by sounds of the birds and passerbys, or you're moving through a tight entryway into a double-height living space flooded with natural light, these experiences create something inside of us that we cannot quite put into words. And unfortunately, not every client that comes to you will be able to experience these spaces and moments that you so carefully curated, especially in the residential industry. 8 hours north of Chicago, you'll find yourself at the very top of Wisconsin in Lac de Flambeau, with their smell of campfires, the sound of wolves at night, and 0 cell reception. It's the perfect place to build your family's retreat from the hustle and bustle of the rat race. And that's exactly what this client did. She worked with Better Architects and Amy Carmen Design to create her perfect up north modern cabin. Now, being located in such an isolated part of the country, it was very important to capture everything that they could, which is where our conversation began. There were a handful of experiences in this home that were incredibly hard to capture through photo. The entry portal moving through a very tight entryway into a large, vast, open living room flooded with natural light, the axes of movement that were capped by outlooks to nature, and of course a pretty sick bowling alley in the basement. So I was brought on to help capture through video the curated experiences that they designed within this home. And what we ended up with was this.
When you come home, like that is it. Like that is your sanctuary. Like that is where you come together with the people that are most important to you. And if you can really enhance that experience, that really shows what a success it was as a project.
So all this footage and this video that was captured within the 3 days is now being implemented across their website, across social media, and in their proposals to help set the edge, to help them win more work. Why is this relevant for you? Well, residential homes are an animal in and of themselves. Once you pass over the keys, that's it. Unless you have a very good relationship with the client, there's no going back in the home. And that's a very bittersweet moment. And we're at a point where we can and should be capturing how these spaces are actually experienced, showcasing the movement, showcasing the sights and the sounds. So after this presentation, I hope that you walk away with a few things. One, a greater understanding of the potential value that video can bring to your firm, whether it's from the storytelling aspect or from the showcasing and experience, and hopefully a handful of ideas that you can implement into your social media and your marketing outreach today. If Pixar and Disney can make us care about a toy cowboy, I think we can make people care about a building. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I can be reached via any of my socials or contact information. I'm always willing to talk and answer any questions that you have. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the conference.
That's great. Absolutely. Bravo, Brodie. That was really great. I'm going to spotlight you. And let's see, speaker view. There you go. So, Brodie, there were a lot of questions in the chat. And I also know that I had a question directly to me. And I'll let us answer the chat questions. But before we do that, the question that was directed to me was, how do you know where to get started and what the right fit is?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's kind of one of those things that when you look at it from a high level, there's a lot of different videos that you can do. You can do anything from a personal profile, doing like an about us or an about me, or you can go into things like project highlight videos, which were more so kind of geared, the two videos I showed in the presentation, like those were more so about the project. But I think what I would recommend to start for dabbling would be something, I call it moving images. Everyone kind of calls it something different, but just having a videographer come to a project that you're super excited about and just capture some of these moving images. So whether it's a still shot of, this gigantic window with a connection to nature, and you can see, the light shifting and the light moving and the breeze moving the branches, it adds a little bit of something that a photograph can't quite capture. And so I would recommend starting there, starting small. And then once you get a project that you're excited about, that the story and everything like you think lines up, bring in a videographer to come and tell that story and that overall vision. Because I think that's overall what clients really can connect with.
Okay, that's a great start. But so a lot of people are asking, like, how much should you budget for marketing? And let's, it could be as much as whatever the initial thing that you might recommend that is going to accomplish their goal to something bigger.
Yeah, as far as numbers, I would say like start small, start like 1 to 2,000. Just do one project and make sure it's a really good project, and like bring in our videographer. I know there's a lot of real estate videographers have that kind of mindset too, of they understand space, they understand the actual built environment. And so I would start there, honestly.
And do you start at that price range or do you start higher?
Yeah, I usually start at that price range, and then obviously everything fluctuates for, like, let's go crazy. Let's interview the client. Let's interview the actual designer. Let's interview the developer, and let's get all these stories and let's make it into like a full, like 3 to 5 minute like production.
Okay, terrific. That's great. So when you first sit down and meet with someone and talk about their goals, or these days, a lot of that's done by video conferencing, right? Or Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You actually can sit down and kind of help them with a budget is it based on how much time, or is it based on the location? All those things come into consideration?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think it's getting down and from a very high level understanding like who you are as a firm and where do you want to go. And if it's like we want to be in this very specific niche of work, and we want to be known for, the super modern straight lines, then it's like, okay, let's find projects like that you've done, that you're super excited about, that you have a great connection with the client, and let's showcase those in the right way. And a big question is, once you get the video, what do you do with it? And so
Yes.
Having that conversation of, like, it can go on the website. I think that's something that everyone kind of understands, but there's a lot more that can come out of that too, is you can use this as takeaways. Is when you have that interview with the client, you can be like, hey, check out this video. This is a project we did that's going to be super similar to yours. Here's what the client has to say. Here's what we did for them. And this was the impact that it had on their lives. So you can do something like that, which is more intimate, and you can obviously put it on social media, TikTok Reels, LinkedIn, like everyone, all these platforms love video. And so just kind of getting ahead of the curve and starting to push that out on these platforms is also super important.
Great, great. And so Mark Benner asked, do you also prepare and optimize the video for YouTube publishing with YouTube functionality, links to video and engagement?
Yeah, so most of that stuff, so like having something formatted for YouTube, so something like this is 16:9, so you can view it on your desktop, and then be like, okay, where do we want to put this? Well, we want to put this on Instagram stories, Instagram reels, and Instagram posts, all of which have different like aspect ratios. Some are formatted for your phone, some are formatted for like the square grid. And so so that conversation is had when you're like, okay, where do we want to put all this stuff? And then we format it all. And then when I exported it, it's all formatted perfectly. So it's ready to go for you.
Okay, and then Daniela asked, do you use drones and how long? Obviously, each project is different. So I would recommend you talk with her if she's got a project for you to get a cost range, right?
Yeah. So I do use drones. That's kind of how I got into this industry. It was I got a drone for fun. I started shooting a bunch of projects, and then architects took notice because that's such an eye candy thing. It's a view of your project that you aren't able to get like naturally, like on the ground. So that was kind of my like foot in the door for a lot of the industry. So now it's become a very big thing to kind of add into the storytelling. And then as far as like how long it takes to put together, it takes a little bit, and that's kind of some of the understanding is like when you have like the video that I just showed you for Amy Carmen, there was about 8 hours total runtime of footage to go through, and that was obviously 3 days of shooting and 2 interviews, so it adds up. But with something like that, it takes 2 to 3 months to kind of go through it and create the actual like produced video. But then obviously along the way, I'm of course sending her like, here's a quick snippet, like put this out on social media, because she's huge on social media, and that's super important for her. And so I'm just make sure I deliver on that side of things, so it's not we shot it and then you get nothing for 3 months.
Yes. Okay. Terrific. And then I'm going to start. Is there an app that can help edit short videos that are under 2 minutes?
Videos under 2 minutes, man. I use Adobe Premiere. I think a lot of architects and designers have the a whole Adobe suite, and so Adobe Premiere is a part of that. It's intimidating when you open the app, but it's actually pretty easy to kind of understand the basics if you go through like an hour-long tutorial video. If you have a Mac, I know iMovie is super easy to use. And so I would definitely recommend that. Just basically whatever is out there, if you have it, like the Adobe Creative Cloud and Premiere's there, I would use it. If you have a Mac, iMovie's free, I would totally use that.
Okay, great. And then Nancy's question, the last question we're going to take, and then the rest are going to go into the discussion Q&A and Huva, is for those of us who have not done video or YouTube, can you direct us to books or blogs that can help us just, get educated before they call you?
Yes. The biggest book I read is Start With Why. It sounds weird. It's not like a video marketing book, but it's a book that helped me understand and really refine why I do what I do. And so when you understand like your greater purpose of your business, of your firm, once you understand that and have that locked down, being able to communicate that through video is so much easier. And then when you can communicate that why, that's the thing that's important. That's when Ernie Wong on the site Design Group was like getting emotional about it, is because like he has a very clear why he started doing what he's doing. And like, that's when you can really kind of pull out that emotion. So Start With Why would be huge. I don't know. I don't really know any other books and blogs. I would say just reach out and talk to me. I'm happy. Like any questions you have, any like, where should we start? How should we hire? Like all that, I'm more than capable to answer and like very willing.
Okay, that's fabulous. Thank you, Brodie. You've done a beautiful job. You've been essential for the Powerhouse Smart Luxury Conference. Thank you again. And now that we're done here, I want you to come jump in, and we're going to have our toast. And Brent is going to join us, and he's just such a cool dude, and he's all about entertainment and all that. And so all of us are going to leave this last link, and we're going to come and we're going to do our champagne celebration and an open mic. Okay? Sounds great. Thank you, Brodie.
Thank you, Wendy.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay.